Okay, so this is Psych 222, Unit 1, Part 7. We're just wrapping up this review we've been going through of the events around the Holocaust. And we're looking at the aftermath after the war. So people were prosecuting war criminals. There were the famous Nuremberg trials. There were also prosecutions of war criminals in national courts of law. So Britain held trials, for example. They held trials of the commandant and staff of Bergen-Belsen and those responsible for forced labor. They even had a trial for the owners and executives of the manufacturer of Zyklon B, which was the cyanide-based pesticide that was used in gas chambers, among others. Right? So people were seeking justice. The Netherlands, Norway, Hungary, Poland, West Germany, Romania were some of the other countries that were bringing criminals to trial. And as the perpetrators were being tried, many survivors were still in limbo, waiting for an opportunity to emigrate from Europe. Joining these survivors in 1946 were Jews who had remained throughout Eastern Europe. They felt they could no longer continue living in their villages, which during the war had become Jewish graveyards. So they too were looking to relocate. The US and Britain were the two countries in the position to best help resolve the crisis. However, the US was reluctant to increase its immigration quota. Britain, which held Palestine as a mandated territory, was hesitant to take a stand that would alienate the Arabs. So by 1947, it became increasingly clear that the problem of about 1 million displaced people was not going to be resolved easily, right? Representing a funnel here, a bottleneck. So Britain turned to the United Nations for resolution. And on October 29, 1947, the UN General Assembly adopted a plan that divided Palestine into an Arab state and a Jewish state, with Jerusalem under international control. So this was their cunning plan. So that was November 29th, 1947. May 14th, 1948, the Jews proclaimed the independent state of Israel as theirs, and Britain packed up and left Palestine, and the state of Israel was born. That was May 14th. May 15th, Arab nations attacked Israel, and the Middle East troubles began. In the same month, the US legislature finally passed the Displaced Persons Act of 1948, which gave a lot of people entrance into the US, and so there was this influx of displaced persons. Forward into the 1960s, this was Simon Wiesenthal. He was known as the Nazi hunter. He was a prominent figure. He had lost family in the Holocaust. He had been in a concentration camp. He devoted the rest of his life to hunting down Nazis who were out there in hiding and prosecuting them. A case in point, the capture of Adolf Eichmann, which was a historic event. So May 1960, Eichmann, who was kind of Hitler's right-hand man, his secretary who got things done, he was kidnapped by Israeli agents in Argentina. The Mossad, which was the kind of Israeli secret service, just went over and took him and brought him back to Israel to stand trial. There he is in a bulletproof kind of witness stand, standing trial. He was charged with crimes against Jews, Poles, Slavs, Gypsies, and others, including their arrest and imprisonment, deportation, theft of property, mass expulsions, and murder. He was sentenced to death and executed at midnight, May 31st, 1962. But the process of the trial brought to light, especially for a new generation of Israelis and Germans and the world, the brutality and inhumanity of the Nazis. Eichmann had been part of the inner circle, and he sang like a canary. He told lots and lots of stuff while he was on trial. And we will be talking about some of that stuff. For example, he was the organizer of the Wannsee Conference, and he provided context for those minutes. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our little review of the historical kind of details behind the Holocaust. So with the next unit, we're going to start digging into social psychological interpretations of what happened. All right, folks, see you there.